Since the 1960s, Cape Cod has tripled its year-round population and has become a popular vacation destination, attracting thousands of tourists in the summer. This increase in population and human activities has had a huge effect on the Cape's ecosystems and are threatening the biodiversity of marine life on the peninsula. Biodiversity is the variety of living organisms on Earth in an ecosystem or a habitat. A loss of diversity can have numerous negative impacts on the world. It doesn't just affect a threatened species. It has the potential to destroy an entire ecosystem. Losing a species may be life-threatening for higher levels of the food chain and can cause an increase in the populations in the lower levels of the food chain. Humans are among the many impacted by the loss of biodiversity. A loss of a marine species can affect our economy, health, and food supply. Biodiversity is important for our survival, though our existence can be a huge threat to it. Habitat destruction is the biggest threat to biodiversity. According to the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, 85% of species threatened with extinction were affected by habitat destruction. Habitat destruction is caused by human activities. An example of a habitat destroyed by development is the Hatches Harbor Salt Marsh in Provincetown. The salt marsh was once a productive ecosystem that provided nutrients for a variety of marine animals. In 1930, a dike was installed which cut the marsh off from the nearby wetland. This had several negative impacts on the ecosystem. The dike blocked the flow of saltwater, and the amount of fresh water increased from precipitation. This allowed freshwater plants to crowd out the saltwater plants. A lower water level made it impossible for estuary fish to reach the wetland, and killfish were unable to reach the mosquito breeding sites. The drastic increase in population over the past 50 years has led to increased pollution of Cape Cod waters. The development near the coast has caused nutrient pollution, which causes eutrophication. The increase of nutrients stimulates algae growth, depriving organisms of oxygen, resulting in a fish kill. Overexploitation of a species is a huge contributor to the loss of biodiversity. Many marine species such as cod, whales, and shellfish have been harvested to satisfy human wants, though their populations were not considered. So if a species is harvested faster than their rebound rate, their populations will be unable to recover. As mentioned in a previous slide, the disappearance of a species can affect other levels of the food chain. For example, overfishing has caused the depletion of Cape Cod's oyster reefs. Oysters are a source of food for crabs and starfishes, so the decrease in oyster populations can threaten their survival. Invasive species are organisms that are not naturally occurring in an ecosystem. Marine invasive species are usually introduced by human activities such as trade and travel by boats. Invasive species can disrupt natural processes in an ecosystem and outcompete and prey on the native species. For example, European green crabs were introduced to Cape Cod waters in the 1800s. It is believed that they were caught in the blasts of ships bringing European goods to the States. The crabs were found responsible for the decline of the soft-shell clam Maya ariana. According to ecologist Kevin Lafferty of the U.S. Geological Survey, the annual economic impact of the green crab is $44 million. In conclusion, human activity is a huge threat to biological diversity. The increasing population and development on the Cape is altering and destroying marine species habitats and polluting their environment. We are threatening their survival by over-harvesting them and introducing them to new competition and predators. For our own survival, humans must take note of these threats and work to preserve the biological diversity of marine life.